Every time I turn around, here come Mister. Every time I turn around, here come Mister. We got more GOP1 news. So apparently, there are some letters that's being sent out. Some without a letterhead, some with a Eli Lilly letterhead to patients with their patient information at the top of the letter. I guess for further validation, pretty much a sense of like a cease and desist formatted letter. Information in the letter pretty much states, oh, you received some a product, a Tirzepatide product or Tirzepatide compound product, because these are going towards patients who receive compound Tirzepatide. And I'm trying to figure out the validity of this. Are these letters valid? Are they real? Could this just be someone just creating fluff? Definitely, this is not anything that is official on any level. On any level to me, but it's crazy how this stuff is just starting to unfold. So, I mean, if these letters were really sent out with a Lilly letterhead, with the patient's information, their identification number, etc., at the top, then can we consider this the introduction to the possible termination of the Tirzepatide compound? I'm going to say no, because the FDA hasn't tapped in yet. But what it looks like is it looks like Eli Lilly is just sending out action attempts, communication action attempts to cease and desist use of this product. Action attempts to communicate his agenda of the Tirzepatide ingredient being provided solely by Lilly, and that no other service provider providing Tirzepatide should be appropriate, according to Lilly, because Lilly's brand, Lilly's medication, according to the brand, is only right. Y'all remember that from one of his first letters he released, the Lilly letter. It's only right if it's by Lilly. Those were shots taken towards the compound market, the Tirzepatide compound market. Okay, it was shots fired. All right, shots fired. Listen, this is turning into a lot of shenanigans, a lot of, I would say, legal shenanigans, legal tit for tat, legal threats without merit. I mean, just a lot of talk, nothing like a real substance, because we know the substance really comes from the FDA. So the FDA hasn't chimed in further, from my knowledge, you know, in agreement with Lilly, therefore removing Zepbound and Mounjaro off the shortage list and discontinuing or limiting the use of Tirzepatide compound. None of those announcements have been made. None of those indications have been made. The indications that have been given are indications given by Lilly. Okay? Lilly is not the FDA. Lilly is not the driving force. Lilly is a brand owner. Just as Novo Nordisk. Anybody who comes in and chooses to brandize a device with medication in it. Remember, the medication is not branded. From my knowledge, the device is branded for that name, that majestical name. Everyone is, you know, all over the jingle that's rolling through everybody's head. Ozempic or Zepbound or Wegovy, and the many others. It's the name which makes it the brand and the pin that it comes in. Not ownership of Tirzepatide. There is not ownership of semaglutide because before these name brands came out, Tirzepatide and semaglutide were already a compound. They were already in use. And then Ozempic came in and branded a form. Okay. So they are not the end all be all in the determination of the accessibility and the distribution of terzepatide compound. The FDA is. Now they play a major factor, Lilly, Novo Nordisk, because the allowance of a compound is through the shortage of the medication, of the brand medication. And we know Ozempic is in shortage and it's been in shortage. I feel like Ozempic has been in shortage since I heard of Ozempic, okay? We know Zepbound and Mounjaro is still in shortage because people are still self-reporting those shortages. People are doing their due diligence. They're attempting to get their medications. They're receiving back order responses or not in stock. We just don't have it, and it's a lot of confusion because based on Lilly's announcement, in conjunction with release the vials and all this and the change of his distribution chains and all of that the shortage is over, right? That's what Lilly said. But the people are saying different. And the FDA is paying attention to the people, okay, who are self-reporting. Because that's the only way really to accurately measure this and to deliver the accurate shortage update information so that an appropriate determination can be made on the trajectory of the terzepatide compound and the trajectory of the shortage, all of that. I just really find it interesting that it's just so many tactics that just continue to come out, either from a PBM or from one of the brand owners themselves. It's a lot of pushback, and this pushback is against the compound industry. This pushback is against the terzepatide compound industry. I haven't really heard a lot of weight about the semaglutide compounds. I haven't really heard a lot of rhetoric. A lot of us are patients of terzepatide, whether brand Zepbound, Mounjaro, or on the terzepatide compound. So we are really kind of like in flux with everything that has to do with terzepatide, Zepbound, Mounjaro. That's what we are in flux with. We really don't pay much attention to Ozempic, and Ozempic was pretty much the first GLP-1 that like took media by storm. It wasn't the first GLP-1 created, but it was just what the media in the world paid the most attention to, Ozempic. And that's how the world got introduced to GLP-1 medication, through Ozempic. Okay. Needless to say, this stuff is not available in shortage. The compound market still thrives. And I honestly believe that the compound market is still going to thrive even when and if, let's say that, these brand GLP-1s come out of shortage. And I don't think that's something that can't be considered. It may be unprecedented, but hey, this whole GLP-1 thing is unprecedented, okay? The world has not experienced a weight loss medication that is as effective at this magnitude as GLP-1 medication, semaglutide and tirzepatide. They outscore and they outdo Saxenda, liraglutide. They outdo the other performers that were here before them. Those performers kind of made room for the better advancement and development of more powerful GLP-1 agonists like the semaglutide and the dual agonist tirzepatide. And then now you got the three-prong agonist on the way, retatrutide. So the vet GLP-1 medication started it, but they weren't as strong enough. I mean, their percentage of weight loss was just extremely too slow. That's why I really didn't get that much traction. I mean, Victoza, Saxenda, of course, they started off as diabetes medications, and then opened up a market for the weight loss medication form of it. But even still, it was producing some weight loss, but it was just producing weight loss at a small volume, weight loss at a rate that you can get from over the counter weight loss medications. So, I mean, but the advantage of it could be approved through your insurance. You have to pay money out, like that type of thing. But even in some cases, with the liraglutide, at the end of the day, all these GLP-1s are expensive, and all of them are not guaranteed to be covered. So you may have to come out of pocket either way. So why not, with this the compound industry becoming the GLP-1 compound industry becoming much more fluent, I definitely can see the consideration of some type of um, plan or agreement for both entities to exist, the brand GLP-1 entity and the non-brand GLP-1 entity to exist. I do not think that the FDA is just going to cut the production of GLP-1 compounds, regardless if the shortage is relieved, because they have to look at this in a whole different perspective now. They have to really look at the data, look at how many people are patients of the compound, and then discontinue the compound will further send people over to the brand that is still struggling in shortage. And then many people can't afford the brand, but a lot of people are going to make themselves afford it if they're trying to continue their weight loss journey, continue their health mission for all the reasons they are taking the medication. If it's not just for weight relation, it's for inflammation decrease. You know, it's just sleep apnea, cardiovascular treatment, and the numbers are going to continue to go on as data continues to be released and more studies are released on the other ailments that GLP-1 medication resolves or treats. So I think the FDA is going to just look at the whole picture in a different light. Maybe initially, with a brand name out of that is in shortage, yes, the FDA approved the production of compound use for patients. But I don't think the FDA knew or could forecast that that allowance would like really evolve to be a major allowance, okay, of a lot of people who are on compounds and a lot of people who want to stay on compounds, because a large portion of patients on GLP-1 medication brand are self-payers, and a large portion, of course, a large portion on the compounds or Zepbound compounds, semaglutide or whatnot. You, of course, you're self-payers, automatic. Um, so if not, it may be a little. The numbers may even overpower some of the brand self-payers numbers. Okay, because the compound market is seriously growing. I really would like to, know the numbers on that, because the compound market has a major forecast. And that is now an industry in itself. And I don't see the harm if Tirzepatide is not in shortage, but the so-called brand name pens are. I don't see the harm in allowing a separate market exist for off-brand. We allow off-brand medication to exist in general, right? Off-brand medication exists in general. You don't cut off that accessibility, that market. So why cut off the off-brand GLP-1 medication? Just because the brand name medication is available? Treat it as any other medication. There is an off-brand. The off-brand should always be available as long as it's available. So this is just, think about it in a more optimistic light, guys. I know it's a lot of back and forth, but we don't hear much from the FDA. The back and forth is between PBMs, okay, and brand owners with the semi scare tactics and maybe money pools and all that type of stuff. Like, I'm like, cut it out. Just cut it out. Because I really do think that the compound industry, really, the GLP-1 compound industry is here to stay. And that it would, I don't think that it will be discontinued. If anything, and these are just my speculations, okay? This is not anything that's fact and gold, but this is just my thoughts based on the logic, the information I researched, and what I've interpreted, and how I make my notion out of it. This market, it makes sense in profitability as far as business, to keep this market going. Because as you see, there is no guarantee that brand name medication will always be available will always be available. You see the levels of shortage, it is no guarantee, even with the release of vials. There's no guarantee that patients really are even going to transition into the vial situation because of some of the limitations being put on that. Here come the wind. Here come the wind. So please excuse my production shaking. Okay. But there you go. Now, based on that, that's not concrete. We're just going to only solely depend on brand GLP-1 medication, only brand. And you have many, I don't know what the numbers are, but I know they in the 100,000s probably. I don't know, but I know they up there, who are on compound, okay? Who are on compound because they're self-payers and they can't get approved through their insurance, and they can't afford the extremely high price points of these medications. And those price points are set at the will of the brand owners. So the most feasible and financial option that's there is the GLP-1 compound market. So why cut the compound market just to appease brand owners? Because that's what that is. See, all this would be broken down eventually. See, I'm speaking it into existence because I know like the FDA is having different schools of thoughts when it comes to this. So don't be surprised. I don't know if an announcement will be made, but just sit and keep getting your prescriptions, keep filling your scripts, keep getting your medication. You're going to see just silently that these compound pharmacies are not going anywhere. These compound pharmacies are not going anywhere. The distribution of Tirzepatide compound, I don't believe is going anywhere. I believe there are going to be some exceptions to it. Now, will it always deliver at the volume it's producing? The 503, B pharmacies? I'm not sure. Then will there be limitations possibly placed by the FDA on the amount of production? Possibly. It may scale off some of The prescriptions, possibly. I mean, but as long as at the end of the day that the model, the GLP-1 compound model, is still in place for those who are on it, you're safe, then you cool. It may be a little bit more restrictions for the newbies coming in, for the compound, but for the grandfathered patients in, such as myself and y'all know, y'all been in it. That's why it's good that we got in this early. We got into it early before all this shenanigans start happening. Okay, we are locked in. Okay, we are locked in with our compound provider. I hope you are locked in with your compound provider so you ain't got to go around fishing for a new provider and have to deal with the possibility of a denial because you happen to be underneath the standard BMI, because you actually lost weight from the medication and you approach your maintenance. See, you're gonna come into a whole hurdle of possible situations, maybe rejections, trying to switch from a compound provider to another and not have documentation and all that. So it's good that us grandfather patients are already locked in. Okay, so we in, and I believe it. I'm believing it. We covered. Okay, but I just needed to come on, okay, about this because this just came out. I'm like, what? I mean, I just did a video. I just did a video. Was it the other day? Okay, y'all coming at the doctor's next. PBM's coming at the doctor's next because y'all don't want to pay the money for the medication. Well, then y'all need to blame it on the brand owners who created this, who invested in this, who made this a thing. Okay? They made this a thing. They created something that you can't shut down now. This is unprecedented. It is helping a massive amount of people, regardless of the negative connotations that are out there, the scare tactics that are out there. Honey, please take it from folks who have taken the medication, have succeeded on the medication, have made it to maintenance, okay? And are happily promoting this medication for use for those who need it, such as myself. You need to get that weight off. Use the tools that are available to you. GLP-1 is a tool, and it is a prominent and effective tool alone, as well as in conjunction with lifestyle changes. It is powerful working alone, but you may come into some delays and hurdles if you don't implement the right lifestyle changes, making sure you're in a calorie deficit, prioritizing your protein, keeping fiber into play through vegetables and fruit, preferably whole food. And if not, then have fiber supplements. But you got to do your part, and you need to exercise just to further enhance the weight loss, to speed it up a little bit if you want, to get it going, to you know, get the body moving and toned in certain areas. Exercise is needed if you want to get into couture and all that weight training. So if you hitting all the points, the components, this thing is amazing. GLP-1 medication is amazing. And I'm tired of people discrediting it. People discredit it because they decided not to get on it. Let me hear discredits from folks who didn't got on it. Because even folks who got on and got off, they still give flowers to the GLP-1 medication. Okay, they give props to it and be like, "Look, it still works." Even if it didn't work out for them for whatever their reason, they know this medication works. It works, and then you definitely put the right components with it that you're supposed to, according to the directions of the medication. You go, okay. I lost 40 plus pounds off this. So totaling 154 pounds lost in general. I wish I knew of GLP-1 medication when I was 284. It could have just helped me along the way then, even though I mustered up enough of the power to get the 115 pounds off through intermittent fasting and running and 1 meal a day. But it could have been so different if I could have had just a leg up, just a little bit more help with the GLP-1 medication. It just, maybe I wouldn't have put myself through so much, grasping onto a routine, staying, you got to stay focused. You got to routinize yourself. You got to make fitness work around your life so you can get it done. You can't just work out for 2 days and then throw it out and don't come back and revisit the workout for 2 weeks. That's not how this goes. And you would not really get serious results if you're trying to. So because I have that freaking aggressive mindset when I'm trying to take over a project, then I'm trying to hit in all areas. I'm trying to get this done and be effective. So I go at it from all angles and I go hard. Doesn't mean I don't get weary. I lapsed. And that's how I felt myself slowly gaining the weight back. And then I'm like, something has to happen because I don't know if I can go into this weight loss journey again by myself without some type of help. Because I knew how much work I put in to lose 115 pounds. And I thought I had everything nailed down with the intermittent fasting, thinking that I can eat what I want and I can still maintain this weight. But as I saw that the weight was coming back, and I really didn't never make it to my essential goal weight of a 130, which was my plan anyway. And I just kind of figured that I probably would never make it, honey. Because my back getting big. Okay, my back getting big, and I feel my neck coming back. You see what I'm saying? Like, so I was like, GLP-1. I found out about Zepbound November 2023. And I immediately chimed into my physician. My physician was okay with the approval. It was not a problem. I ran into hurdles when it came to my insurance. Whoo! And the same company, still from a different state, sending issues. Okay, sending issues and threats, this, that, and the third. I'm not really paying any mind much to this. There's no validity to it, but it's just funny to see how brand owners are scurrying. Like, it just, do you feel threatened? I don't know. This is what it is. It's the compound industry compromising the brand medication. Is that what they feel like is happening? This is a fair game though in the world of business at the end of the day. Brand market, non-brand market. It's a fair game, fair trade. And that's how I want the FDA to look at it now. It has evolved. It's not just a situation of temporary relievement of a brand GLP-1 medication. Like, the whole trajectory has changed. And many people's lives have changed as a result of compound Tirzepatide, compound semaglutide. That's always available. That's serving the people. Why cut that off for a brand name that is not guaranteed to always be accessible for the people? Accessible through self-paying because it's too expensive, or accessible just through availability because of a shortage, because it's in high demand, because other people who can afford it can get it. It's just so much to think about. So I just, I'm resting well and not worrying about this look of a threat, sending letters out to patients. It doesn't even sound all the way right to me anyway, but I'm not even concerned about that. Don't be too concerned about that, y'all. Okay, losing my thoughts on the shenanigans, the GLP-1 brand shenanigans that keep unfolding. Okay, and it's not the brand medication itself, the brand creators. And I'm not even gonna say the brand creators because, I'm gonna say the brand creators because Lilly's emblem was up on the letter, so we don't know if this is directly from Lilly or not, or somebody posing as such. It's all, my ear is always clear to the streets. So I'm gonna be aware, but I gotta filter out what makes sense and not. And it's just, can we just stop? And if you're gonna bring it out of shortage, bring it out of shortage, okay? Stop threatening the compound market. We fine over here in ourselves. We fine over here, minding our own business. But see, what's happening is our business is tapping into the brand business. See, that's the problem. Our business is tapping into the brand GLP-1 business, and they want a cut of the compound. They want the compound users because they know that market is forever growing. I will get at you in the next video.